Cruises are meant to be relaxing, but one careless move can turn your getaway into a nightmare. These 15 real mistakes have gotten travelers fined, banned, or thrown off the ship, so knowing them might save your vacation. Number 15. Standing or sitting on the balcony railing. Balcony views are a highlight of any cruise. Open sea, fresh air, total peace. But what looks like a perfect photo op or thrill-seeking moment could easily turn into your final one. Cruise ships may seem secure, but the railings on your balcony are no joke. Standing, sitting, or leaning on them isn't just risky, it's enough to get you banned for life. Take what happened with a passenger on a Royal Caribbean cruise. He jumped off his balcony while docked in Nassau, on purpose. His friends recorded it and posted the video online. Not only was he banned from the cruise line forever, but every friend in that group was also permanently banned, even the ones who didn't jump. Another woman faced the same fate just for standing on her railing to take a photo. She didn't fall, she didn't jump, but the cruise line still saw it as a violation serious enough to kick her off and blacklist her from ever returning. From the cruise line's perspective, this isn't just about rules, it's about survival. Falling overboard at sea is often fatal. The odds of rescue are terrifyingly low, especially at night or in rough water. Add in the possibility of lawsuits or delayed departures, and it's clear why cruise operators won't take chances. Balcony behavior is monitored, often with CCTV, and they don't wait for things to go wrong before stepping in. So if you're itching for a thrill, head to the onboard water park, ride the slides, jump in the pools, but keep your feet off the railing. It's not just a rule, it could be the difference between a fun cruise and an early goodbye. Number 14. Smoking in unauthorized areas. Lighting a cigarette on your balcony might feel relaxing, especially with the sea breeze, but it could land you in trouble before you even finish the smoke. Most cruise lines have strict smoking policies that limit where you can light up. That usually means designated smoking areas only. Outside those zones, it's not just a rule violation, it's a serious fire risk. The problem isn't just the smoke or the smell. One tossed cigarette off a balcony has, in the past, triggered full-blown fires. A single ember, carried by the wind, can land on a lower deck or catch onto a towel or cushion. And on board a ship, there's nowhere to run if flames break out. Guests have been fined hundreds of dollars for ignoring posted signs. Some were disembarked at the next port. Others were charged cleaning fees for smoking inside their cabins, where smoke soaks into the furniture and sets off alarms. Even if you're a regular smoker, it's not worth the gamble. Cruise ships usually offer specific spots, sometimes with a view, where smoking is allowed. Stick to those, and never assume your balcony counts. It doesn't. Neighbors often report smoke faster than security can. If caught, there's no explaining it away. On a cruise, fire safety isn't a guideline, it's a hard rule. Number 13. Leaving balcony and cabin doors open at the same time. It sounds harmless, maybe even helpful, to let the sea air blow through your cabin. But if you leave your balcony door open while your cabin door is also ajar, you're creating a wind tunnel that can do real damage. The rush of air that surges through is more powerful than most people expect. Documents, clothes, even hats can be pulled into the hallway, or out into the ocean, within seconds. But flying paper isn't the worst part. The pressure difference can slam doors with enough force to shatter glass or injure fingers. Some guests have walked away with sprained hands after doors slammed shut unexpectedly. Others have caused damage to the room's cooling system. Cruise ships have carefully balanced air conditioning units that rely on sealed cabins. When doors are left wide open, the system is thrown off, and it can affect the temperature in neighboring rooms too. The crew calls it the wind tunnel effect, and they deal with it far more often than they should. Even if you're only stepping out for a second, one gust of wind can cause a scene. The best way to enjoy fresh air on board? Open one door at a time. Close your main cabin door before cracking open the balcony. It may seem like a small habit, but this one mistake can cause injuries, trigger maintenance issues, or annoy fellow travelers. It's not worth the breeze. Number 12. Using unauthorized electronics. Kettles, blankets, steamers. Some travelers like to bring a little extra comfort from home, whether it's an electric kettle for tea, a travel steamer to freshen clothes, or a heating blanket to stay cozy. But on a cruise ship, these common household items can become safety hazards. In fact, most of them are on the banned list before you even step on board. The main issue? Fire risk. Cruise cabins are compact, and their electrical systems are carefully designed for specific loads. High heat appliances like kettles or steamers can draw more power than the outlets are built to handle. And if something sparks or overheats, it's not just your cabin at risk. A fire at sea is one of the worst case scenarios for any cruise ship. That's why security screens bags closely and confiscates anything they think could pose a danger, even if it's still in the box and marked cruise approved. Some passengers have tried to argue, but it doesn't work. Even baby bottle warmers and rice cookers get flagged. If you truly need heat, go for alternatives like microwavable heating pads or hot water bottles. And for wrinkles, steam from a hot shower works better than you think. The bottom line is this: cruise ships are strict about electronics for good reason. It's not personal, it's about safety. Don't assume your favorite plug-in device is welcome just because it fits in your suitcase. When in doubt, leave it out. Number 11. Leaving devices charging unattended. It seems harmless to leave your phone, tablet, or camera charging while you head to dinner or step out for a show, but cruise ship safety crews see things differently, and they're trained to act fast. If a cabin steward spots any device charging unattended, they're instructed to unplug it on the spot. And yes, even electronic toothbrushes aren't exempt. Why the fuss? It comes down to fire prevention. Lithium-ion batteries, common in most modern devices, can overheat or malfunction, especially if they're charging continuously in an enclosed space. And in a cruise cabin, there's limited room and ventilation. That makes a small spark potentially dangerous. Over the years, ships have had to respond to fire alarms triggered by overheated phones or portable battery packs. Even one incident is too many. Some passengers return to their rooms confused, wondering why their laptop isn't fully charged. Others are annoyed to find their gadgets unplugged, but cruise lines are clear about the rule: don't leave anything charging unless you're in the room. Want a workaround? Use the charging stations in public areas if your ship offers them, or only plug in while you're inside and awake. Better yet, pack an external battery bank for convenience. Ultimately, this rule is there to protect everyone. No one wants a late-night evacuation drill because someone left their tablet on the bed. A few hours of charging can wait if it means avoiding an onboard emergency. Number 10. Blasting music or playing instruments in cabins. Cruise ships are all about fun, but there is a line between enjoying yourself and disrupting others. That line gets crossed fast when music is blaring through the walls. While your wireless speaker might sound amazing to you, your neighbors may not agree, especially if it's midnight and they're trying to sleep. Cabins aren't soundproof. In fact, sound travels surprisingly well on ships, especially through thin walls and metal doors. Some travelers bring guitars or ukuleles, thinking they'll practice quietly in the room. Others listen to music on portable speakers while getting ready, but noise complaints are taken seriously. If enough guests report a disturbance, crew members will knock, and they may confiscate the speaker altogether. Cruise lines want you to have fun, but they also want everyone else to rest. That's why live music is kept in designated areas like lounges, decks, or the theater, not your cabin. Even if you're just playing background jazz, it can easily bleed into the next room and ruin someone's nap or quiet time. So if you love music, enjoy it respectfully. Use headphones when you're in your cabin. Save the big sound for poolside parties or karaoke night. Cruise vacations should be relaxing for everyone on board, not just the one holding the Bluetooth speaker. Number 9. Tampering with or blocking fire sprinklers and emergency equipment. When it comes to cruise ship safety, sprinklers and alarms aren't just for show. They're a vital part of the system that keeps everyone safe. So when passengers hang curtains, string up decorations, or even clip towels near the ceiling, they're putting more than just cabin comfort at risk. Some guests try to get creative. They use magnetic hooks to hang sheets or curtains for extra privacy, especially when sharing a cabin. Others drape wet clothes over the ceiling fixtures to attempt to block the hallway light with makeshift dividers. But these innocent-seeming hacks can interfere with emergency lighting, smoke detectors, or sprinkler systems. If anything blocks a sensor or disrupts water flow in the event of a fire, the consequences could be serious, not just for the one who hung it, but for everyone on that deck. Cruise lines have tightened the rules around this. Some, like Carnival, have already banned any kind of interior divider in cabins. Others issue warnings or remove items found during random inspections. There's also the chance of getting fined or written up by security. If you want extra privacy, it's better to use personal items like sleep masks, headphones, or travel pods made specifically for compact spaces. These don't interfere with ship systems and don't raise red flags with the crew. It's tempting to modify your space to make it feel more like home, but on a ship, every detail is built for safety first. Those little sealing nozzles could save lives. Don't give the fire system a reason to fail. Number 8. Flushing forbidden items down the toilet. Cruise ship toilets may look normal, but they work very differently from the ones at home. Instead of a gravity system, they use vacuum suction to move waste efficiently through narrow pipes. That system is incredibly sensitive, and one wrong flush can ruin it for everyone around you. It might not seem like a big deal to flush a makeup wipe, a cotton pad, or even something labeled biodegradable, but on board, none of that breaks down fast enough. These items can block the pipes, causing a chain reaction. Suddenly, several cabins are dealing with backup, nasty smells, or completely unusable bathrooms, all because of one mistake in one room. Cruise lines are crystal clear about this. The only things that go down the toilet are what naturally belongs there and toilet paper. There's a trash bin for everything else. And yes, they do investigate clogs if they become a pattern in a specific area. Some passengers ignore the rules out of habit, others just aren't aware of the risk, but no one wants to be the reason an entire corridor can't flush for hours, or the one who causes a maintenance emergency while the ship is out at sea. To avoid problems, read the signs in the bathroom and use the bins provided. They're not optional. One careless flush might seem harmless, but on a ship, it can set off a whole cascade of issues. Everyone on board is connected by the same system. Don't be the one who breaks it. Number 7. Assuming the minibar is free. It's an easy mistake. You've paid for the drink package, so naturally you assume everything liquid in your cabin is included, especially the drinks sitting neatly in the mini fridge. But here's the twist. On most cruise lines, the minibar is not part of your prepaid drink plan, unless you're in a high-tier suite or on a luxury line. What happens instead is this. You grab a soda or snack, thinking it's part of the package, only to see surprise charges on your final bill. Sometimes the prices aren't even listed in the room, so you don't know until it's too late. Some passengers have been billed for simply moving items around because high-tech sensors register the removal, even if you put the drink back. And it's not just drinks either. Robes, binoculars, and fancy toiletries might seem like complimentary extras, but unless it's clearly stated, they may come with a price. That comfy robe hanging in the closet? On some ships, it'll cost you $85 if it disappears into your suitcase. The best thing to do? Ask your cabin steward early on. Get clarity about what's included and what's not. Many ships let you request the minibar be emptied if you'd rather avoid temptation or confusion altogether. Cruise bills can rack up quickly with little charges like these, so don't assume your drink package covers everything that clinks. When in doubt, double check, because the cost of that free soda might be a lot more than you expected. Number 6. Bringing homemade or perishable food on board. Packing a sandwich or bringing leftovers from a hotel might seem like a smart way to save money, especially on embarkation day when lines can be long and lunch isn't always immediate. But if you try to board with fresh food or something homemade, chances are it won't make it past the gangway. Cruise ships operate under strict international health and customs regulations. Anything perishable, like cooked meals, cut fruit, deli meats, or even a half-eaten snack, can be considered a contamination risk. Some passengers have had entire bags tossed because they included unsealed or unpacked food. The rules are there to prevent pests, bacteria, and other problems from getting on board and spreading through the ship. Even sealed snacks can be tricky in certain ports. Try bringing fruit or meat off the ship in places like Mexico or the Bahamas, and you might be fined on the spot by customs officials. These countries have firm agricultural import laws, and they don't make exceptions for tourists. If you want to bring snacks, stick to sealed packaged items, granola bars, candy, or chips. Anything that looks homemade or repackaged will be questioned or confiscated. And honestly, cruise food is available nearly 24/7. From buffet lines to room service, you won't go hungry. There's no need to risk fines, embarrassment, or even denial of boarding just to keep a sandwich in your backpack. Let the cruise line handle the meals, and leave the picnic at home. Number 5. Wearing camouflage in certain countries. It may seem like just another fashion choice, but wearing camo clothing can cause unexpected trouble when your cruise docks in certain Caribbean countries. In nations like Barbados, Jamaica, St. Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago, camouflage is strictly reserved for military and law enforcement. Civilians wearing it, even just as a fashion statement, risk being questioned, fined, or even detained. These laws are enforced to prevent impersonation or confusion, and customs officials take them seriously. Several cruise passengers have shared stories of being stopped during excursions simply because they forgot they were wearing camo print shorts or a hat. Cruise lines often give reminders about local laws in the ship's daily newsletters, but not everyone reads the fine print. Even if your camo outfit is innocent, it's not worth the risk of a confrontation in a foreign port. To stay safe and respectful, leave the camo prints at home. Stick to neutral or brightly colored clothing instead. It'll make packing simpler and your vacation smoother. Remember, once you step off the ship, local laws apply. What's okay on board might not fly on land. A simple wardrobe choice can mean the difference between a carefree shore day and a complicated customs problem. Number 4. Trying to sneak alcohol using fake containers. Some cruise passengers try to outsmart security by hiding alcohol in disguised bottles, like shampoo containers or fake sunscreen flasks. And while this might seem like a clever money-saving hack, it often ends in confiscation, embarrassment, and sometimes even being denied boarding. Cruise lines are well aware of these tactics, and their security teams are trained to spot them. Online forums are full of stories about passengers losing their entire stash of alcohol before they even unpack. Worse, some cruise lines have policies that allow them to flag accounts or ban future bookings for repeat offenders. Ships make money from onboard beverage sales, and while most allow a small quantity of wine or champagne per person, anything beyond that can be seen as a violation of terms. It's tempting to bypass drink prices, but it's not worth the risk. Most cruises now offer drink packages that, depending on your habits, can save you money and hassle. You can still enjoy the included non-alcoholic options or special drink of the day discounts. The bottom line, sneaking moves might sound fun, but it rarely ends that way. Number 3. Packing banned items like toy guns or large blades. When preparing for a family vacation, you might toss in a toy blaster for your kid or pack a pocket knife for convenience. But items that resemble weapons, even obvious toys, can trigger serious concern during cruise ship security screenings. Water guns, Nerf blasters, or anything that looks like a firearm or blade are often flagged and taken away before boarding. Security personnel treat these items as potential threats. In the past, misunderstandings over fake weapons have caused delays, stress, and uncomfortable confrontations. Even scissors with blades longer than 4 inches can be flagged. While most grooming items are fine, passengers have had sewing kits confiscated because of sharp tools. Before packing, check your cruise line's prohibited items list. It's usually available on their website and updated frequently. Opt for child-safe toys and leave anything that even vaguely resembles a weapon at home. Safety on board begins with what you bring in your luggage. Don't let a toy ruin your trip or get your bag pulled for extra inspection. Number 2. Bringing or using CBD products on board. CBD might be legal where you live. It might even be available at your local pharmacy. But cruise ships don't follow state laws. They operate under international maritime regulations, and those rules are far stricter. Nearly all major cruise lines prohibit CBD oils, gummies, creams, and edibles, even if they contain 0 THC. Why? Because ships sail across international borders, and each port has its own laws. A product that's legal in Florida might be illegal in a port like Grand Cayman. If you're caught with CBD on board or trying to bring it into another country, you could face serious consequences, from confiscation to fines or even removal from the ship. Cruise lines often use drug-sniffing dogs at boarding, and they don't make exceptions for over-the-counter items. Several passengers have shared stories of being escorted to security after forgetting they had CBD gummies in their bag. It's simply not worth the risk. If you rely on CBD for pain, sleep, or anxiety, talk to your doctor about safe alternatives for travel. And double-check the cruise line's banned items list before you pack. Number 1. Violating public decency or being too romantic in public. Cruise ships are known for romance, but there's a line between flirty and inappropriate, and some couples cross it without realizing the consequences. Getting a little too intimate in public areas or leaving your balcony door wide open during private moments can quickly become a problem. Not only do many balconies share sightlines, but there are also cameras monitoring outdoor zones. There have been documented cases where passengers were disembarked mid-cruise for public displays that were considered disruptive or indecent. Cruise lines prioritize the comfort and safety of all guests, and they react quickly to complaints. Even loud or suggestive behavior in shared spaces like hallways or decks can lead to warnings or security intervention. Cabins aren't completely private either. Walls are thin, doors swing both ways, and housekeeping staff are in and out frequently. For your own dignity, and to avoid becoming ship gossip, it's best to keep intimate moments truly private. Cruise vacations are about fun, freedom, and relaxation. Just make sure your version of that doesn't cross someone else's boundary or the cruise line's code of conduct. A cruise should be unforgettable for the right reasons, not because you got fined, kicked off, or embarrassed over a simple mistake. These 15 rules aren't just suggestions, they're there to protect you, the crew, and every other guest on board. So before you set sail, take a moment to check the policies, pack smart, and stay aware. That little extra effort could be the difference between a smooth vacation and a stressful disaster. If this helped you, hit like, subscribe, and share with a fellow cruiser. Drop a comment. What surprised you the most? Safe travels, and see you on the next adventure.